Welcome to the world of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss new stories. Enjoy the listening. The dense canopy of Eris swallowed the last rays of the twin suns, plunging the jungle into an eerie twilight. Mike Carter wiped sweat from his forehead, cursing the oppressive humidity that made his expedition gear cling to his skin. 3 weeks of tracking through this green hell, and all he had to show for it was a data pad full of failed dating profiles. Another bust, he muttered, scanning through the latest rejection. Some Centaurian woman who thought Earthmen were too primitive. At 35, he was starting to think his mother was right. Maybe he should have settled for someone back home instead of chasing exotic adventures across the galaxy. A distant scream shattered his self-pity. Mike's hand instinctively went to his pulse rifle as he crouched behind a massive fern. The sound came again, definitely humanoid, female, and in trouble. He moved silently through the undergrowth, years of ranger training taking over. The voices grew clearer, rough male laughter and the sound of a struggle. Mike reached the edge of a small clearing and froze. 3 burly Craxian raiders, their scaled hides gleaming with bioluminescent patterns, were dragging a struggling figure between them. Their captive was unlike anything Mike had ever seen, a petite woman with flawless blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the dim light. Despite her small stature, she fought like a wildcat, her movements graceful even in captivity. "The boss will pay triple for this one," the largest Craxian growled. "A genuine spirit caller. Let me go, you scale-faced cowards." The blue woman's voice was musical even in anger. "My spirits will tear you apart." "Your spirits ain't here now, pretty thing," another raider laughed. "Those dampening cuffs make sure of that." Mike assessed the situation. 3 armed hostiles, 1 civilian. Bad odds, but he'd faced worse. He reached into his pack and pulled out a sonic grenade. The explosion of sound sent the raiders reeling, their sensitive hearing overwhelmed. Mike burst from cover, dropping the first with a clean shot before he could recover. The second managed to raise his weapon but took a boot to the face instead. The third released his grip on the woman, fumbling for his blaster. It was all the opening she needed. The blue woman dropped and swept the raider's legs out from under him with a move that would have made Mike's combat instructor proud. Mike finished him with a stun blast before he could rise. "You okay, miss?" Mike turned to the woman who was already working to remove the dampening cuffs. She looked up, and Mike's breath caught. Her face was exquisitely beautiful, with high cheekbones and large, silvery eyes. But those eyes widened in horror as she took in his appearance. You're human?" She scrambled backward, nearly tripping over a fallen raider. "Last time I checked," Mike said, trying to keep his tone light. "Is that a problem?" "My sister warned me about your kind." She pressed herself against a tree trunk. "Violent, unstable, mating at random without proper cycles." Mike blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" "And the little wings, on your hips." She pointed accusingly at his legs. "The what now?" Mike couldn't help it. He laughed. "I think there's been some misunderstanding, Miss Naya," she said cautiously. "And I know what I know. My distant sister once encountered one of your kind. She told me all about human practices." "Well, Naya, I hate to disappoint, but I don't have any wings, hip or otherwise." He holstered his weapon slowly. "I'm Mike, and I just saved you from being sold to who knows where." Naya's silver eyes narrowed. "Perhaps. Or perhaps you want to exchange microbes through mouth contact." Mike choked back another laugh. "You mean kissing? That's not exactly high on my priority list right now. We should probably get moving before their friends show up." A distant roar emphasized his point. Naya's head snapped toward the sound, her expression changing from suspicion to concern. "The night hunters are waking," she said. "I could control them, but these cursed cuffs..." Mike moved cautiously closer. "Let me help with those. I'm pretty good with tech." She allowed him to approach, though she watched his every move like he might sprout those mythical hip wings at any moment. The cuffs were standard Imperial make child's play for someone who'd spent years disabling poachers' tech. "There," he said as they fell away. "Now about those night hunters." A louder roar, much closer this time. Nea's eyes began to glow with an inner light. "Perhaps," she said with a slight smile, "I should show you what a spirit caller can do, unless you're afraid." "Lady," Mike grinned back, "I think I'm starting to like your planet's brand of crazy." They moved into the deepening jungle together, an unlikely pair, the battle-hardened human ranger and the mystical blue huntress. And somewhere in the darkness, the night hunters were waiting. The jungle grew darker as they moved deeper into its depths. Mike watched in fascination as Nea's blue skin seemed to emit a subtle phosphorescent glow in the darkness. She moved with fluid grace, barely disturbing a leaf, while he felt like a clumsy giant despite his years of experience. "So," Mike ventured, keeping his voice low, "these night hunters you can control." "Shh." Nea spun around, pressing a delicate blue finger to his lips. "Humans really do talk too much, like chattering primates." Mike raised an eyebrow but remained silent, trying to ignore how soft her touch felt. She withdrew her hand quickly as if realizing what she'd done, a darker shade of blue creeping across her cheeks. "The spirits are sacred," she whispered after a moment. "They choose who they bond with. My gift is rare. That's why those raiders wanted me." A branch snapped in the darkness. Both froze. Mike's hand went to his rifle, but Nea's arm shot out, stopping him. "Wait," she breathed. "Watch." Her eyes began to glow again, silver light spilling from them like moonlight. A low growl emerged from the shadows, and Mike's breath caught as a massive shape materialized from the darkness. The creature was easily twice his height, covered in iridescent scales that shifted colors in the dim light. Its 6 legs ended in wickedly curved claws, and its elongated head housed rows of gleaming teeth. But its eyes, they matched the silver glow of Nea's. "Beautiful, isn't she?" Nea stepped forward, reaching up to stroke the beast's scaled hide. "This is Tara. She's been following us since we left the clearing." "Beautiful isn't exactly the word I'd use," Mike muttered, earning a glare from both Nea and the creature. "Typical human response," Nea scoffed. "Always afraid of what you don't understand. Always reaching for weapons first." "Hey, I just saved you back there without shooting everyone," Mike protested. "Give me some credit." "Yes, and then you probably expected me to, what did my sister call it? Make out with you in gratitude." Her tone was accusatory, but there was a hint of curiosity in her voice. Mike couldn't help but laugh. "Your sister seems to have had quite an interesting experience with humans. But no, I don't expect anything. Though I am curious about these hip wings you keep mentioning." "Don't change the subject." Nea turned away, but not before Mike caught the hint of a smile. "We need to reach my village before more raiders come. The jungle isn't safe at night, even for a spirit caller." As if to emphasize her point, distant shouts echoed through the trees. The raiders' friends had found their fallen comrades. "Lead the way," Mike said, gesturing forward. "Your friend Tara there seems like good backup." They moved quickly through the jungle, Nea occasionally stopping to commune with other spirit beasts. Mike found himself torn between watching for threats and watching her. There was something mesmerizing about the way she connected with the creatures, her face serene, body moving in subtle gestures that seemed almost like a dance. "Stop staring," she said suddenly, not even turning around. "I can feel your human eyes boring into me." "Sorry," Mike grinned. "Just trying to spot those wings my kind supposedly has. Thought maybe they were a common feature for all species." Nea spun around, silver eyes flashing. You mock our beliefs? Not at all. Just wondering what other interesting facts your sister shared about humans. I might need to take notes. She said you were— Naya paused, searching for words. Overwhelming, intense, that humans feel everything too strongly and act without thinking. And? Mike prompted, sensing there was more. Naya's cheeks darkened again. And that humans participate in pleasure activities without proper biological cycles. For fun. Ah, Mike coughed, suddenly finding a nearby plant fascinating. Well, that's— A crash through the undergrowth saved him from responding. More raiders, and close. Tara growled, her scales shifting to a threatening red pattern. We're nearly at the village, Naya whispered, but we'll have to fight through them. Mike checked his rifle charge. I thought you said humans act without thinking. Sometimes, Naya's lips curved into a slight smile. That's not entirely bad. She raised her hands, silver light pulsing from her eyes, and the jungle around them came alive with growls and movement. Mike readied his weapon, watching in awe as more spirit beasts emerged from the darkness. Ready to show me what else humans can do? Naya challenged. Lady, Mike grinned. I'm just getting started. The night erupted into chaos, a symphony of weapon fire and bestial roars. The spirit beasts moved like living shadows through the jungle, striking with devastating precision while Mike's precise shots dropped raiders left and right. Naya's control over her creatures was impressive but raw, untrained power that needed focus. After what felt like hours, the remaining raiders fled into the darkness, leaving their wounded behind. The village was safe for now. That was interesting, Naya admitted, watching Mike check the perimeter. Though your shooting needs work. My shooting is fine, Mike protested. Your beast kept getting in my way. Perhaps we both need practice. She studied him thoughtfully. You know about training, don't you? About focus? Mike nodded slowly, seeing where this was going. I might be able to help with that. And so their training began. Dawn broke over the village clearing as Mike watched Naya attempt to meditate. She sat cross-legged on a moss-covered stone, but her silver eyes kept darting open to glare at him suspiciously. This is another human trick, isn't it? She accused. Some strange mating ritual? Mike pinched the bridge of his nose. For the 100th time, no. It's just about focus. How can you expect to control the spirit beast if you can't control your own mind? My mind is perfectly controlled, Naya huffed, then yelped as Tara, the massive six-legged hunter, nudged her from behind. Tara! I told you to stay hidden. See? Mike grinned. Your emotions are affecting her. The beasts sense your uncertainty. Naya's blue skin darkened in what he learned was her version of a blush. I'm not uncertain. I'm cautious. Sister Va'ara said humans use these meditation techniques to weaken their partner's defenses. Your sister seems to have had quite the wild experience with humans, Mike chuckled. Want to tell me what actually happened? She doesn't like to talk about it, Naya admitted, but she said he used strange rituals and then they exchanged microbes. You mean they kissed? Don't say it so casually. Naya leaped up, pacing. It's barbaric. Exchanging bacterial cultures for pleasure, and she said humans do it all the time, not just during proper mating cycles. Mike tried to keep a straight face. And this horrifies you? Of course. Although, she paused, glancing at him sideways. Does it hurt? The kissing? No, it's actually quite nice when done right. And people don't die from it? Still alive last time I checked. Naya moved closer, her scientific curiosity apparently overcoming her fear. Show me. Mike blinked. What? For research purposes, she added quickly. I should understand all potential threats. even the bacterial ones. Before Mike could respond, Tara let out a rumbling sound that sounded suspiciously like laughter. Naya spun around. "Oh, be quiet, you." Mike stepped closer, moving slowly. "You sure about this?" Naya lifted her chin defiantly. "I've faced worse dangers, though perhaps I should drink cleansing spirits afterward, just to be safe." "Whatever makes you feel better," Mike murmured, then gently pressed his lips to hers. The kiss was soft, brief, but when he pulled back, Naya's eyes were wide with wonder. "Oh," she breathed, that wasn't terrible." "High praise," Mike laughed. "Perhaps we should verify the results?" Naya suggested, trying to sound scientific. "For thorough research?" The second kiss was longer, deeper. When they finally parted, Naya looked dazed. "I think I understand why Sister Viara was so affected," she mumbled. Then her eyes widened in horror. "Wait, will I start showing other human symptoms now? Will I develop hip wings?" Mike couldn't help it. He doubled over laughing. "Naya, I promise you, humans don't have wings. Anywhere. Want me to prove it?" "Maybe later," she said primly, but her eyes sparkled with mischief. "First, you need to teach me more about this meditation, purely for spirit-calling purposes, of course." "Of course," Mike agreed solemnly. "Nothing to do with getting closer to the dangerous human." Their training sessions took on a new dimension after that. Naya still maintained her pretense of scientific detachment, but she found more and more excuses for research. Between meditation lessons and spirit-calling practice, she peppered Mike with questions about human customs, each more outrageous than the last. "So humans really mate for pleasure, not just during proper biological cycles? We call it making love, but yes, fascinating and disturbing, yet fascinating." Their work with the spirit beast improved as Naya's focus strengthened, though it often led to Mike running for his life when a training session went wrong. "I said gentle control," Mike shouted, sprinting across a clearing with a juvenile hunter beast in pursuit. "He is being gentle," Naya called back, laughing. "If he wasn't, you'd be missing legs by now. Not helping." But through the chaos and cultural misunderstandings, something deeper grew. Mike found himself mesmerized by the way Naya's skin seemed to glow when she worked with the spirits, how her laugh sounded like silver bells in the jungle air. And Naya began to see past her prejudices, discovering that humans, or at least this human, had depths she'd never imagined. One evening, after a particularly successful training session, they sat together by a bioluminescent pool. Naya's head rested on Mike's shoulder, all pretense of maintaining safe distance forgotten. "Sister Vara was right about one thing," she murmured. "Oh, humans are intense. You feel everything so strongly." She traced a pattern on his arm. "It's frightening, but also exciting. Scared I'll corrupt you with my barbaric ways." Perhaps I like a little corruption." She lifted her head to meet his eyes. "Though I'm still waiting to see these mysterious hip wings everyone talks about." "You're never going to let that go, are you?" "Never." She kissed him then, no longer hesitant or uncertain. When they parted, she smiled wickedly. "You know, in the name of thorough research, we should probably investigate other human customs too." "Careful," Mike warned, though he couldn't help smiling. "That's dangerous territory for a proper spirit caller." "Good thing I have a big, strong human to protect me then." She paused. "Though perhaps we should bring some cleansing spirits just in case." "Whatever makes you feel safe," Mike laughed, pulling her closer. Above them, Tara and the other spirit beast watched with what could only be described as amused tolerance. The jungle night was alive with possibility, and somewhere in the darkness two very different beings were discovering that some barriers were meant to be broken, The jungle's humidity wrapped around them like a second skin as Mike watched Naya attempt to coordinate three spirit beasts simultaneously. Her silver eyes glowed with intensity, blue skin shimmering with effort. "Remember," he called out, "control your breathing like we practiced. The meditation helps with—" "If you mention meditation one more time," Naya growled, not breaking her concentration, "I'll have Tara sit on you." The massive hunter beast rumbled what sounded suspiciously like agreement. "You're both impossible," Mike sighed but couldn't hide his smile. Over the past weeks he'd watched Naya's confidence grow along with her abilities, though she still maintained some of her unique ideas about humans. "Mike," she asked later as they rested by their favorite pool, "why don't humans hibernate during the hot season?" "We don't hibernate at all, actually." "Really? How do you regulate your mating cycles then?" Mike choked on his water. "We've been over this. Humans don't have mating cycles." Right, because you're all deviants who mate for pleasure." She said this matter-of-factly, but her eyes sparkled with mischief. "How barbaric." "Says the woman who kept trying to accidentally catch me bathing yesterday." Naya's skin darkened to deep indigo. "That was scientific observation. I'm still documenting human physiological differences." "Still hoping to find those hip wings?" "Perhaps." She moved closer, trailing a finger down his arm. "Though I'm beginning to think Sister Va'ara might have been exaggerating certain things." "Oh? Like what?" "Like how humans are completely wild with no control." She leaned in closer. "You seem to have plenty of control. Too much, sometimes." Mike's breath caught. "Naya?" "What?" She blinked innocently. "More scientific research. Very important work." Their lips met, and Mike marveled at how something that had once terrified her now seemed as natural as breathing. When they parted, Naya's eyes were bright with both humor and desire. "You know," she whispered, "I think I need to conduct a more thorough investigation. For science, of course." "Of course," Mike agreed solemnly. "Can't stand in the way of scientific progress." Later, tangled together in the soft bioluminescent glow, Naya propped herself up on an elbow to study him. "I have to admit," she said thoughtfully, "some human customs aren't completely terrible." High praise indeed. "Though I'm still disappointed about the wings." Mike pulled her close, laughing. "I think you'll survive the disappointment." A distant roar interrupted their moment. Naya sat up, suddenly alert. Her eyes began to glow. "Something's wrong," she whispered. "The spirits are agitated. There are strangers in the jungle. Many of them." Mike was already reaching for his gear. "Raiders?" "Yes, but different. Better equipped." Her face paled slightly. "They're heading for the village." They dressed quickly, years of training and weeks of partnership making them move in perfect sync. As they prepared to head out, Naya caught Mike's arm. "Mike, thank you." "For what?" "For showing me that not all human customs are horrible." She smiled slightly. "Even if you did lie about the wings." "I swear, woman." She silenced him with a kiss. "Later. Now we have raiders to deal with." They moved into the darkness, Tara and other spirit beasts materializing around them like shadows come to life. Whatever was coming, they would face it together. And somewhere in the back of his mind, Mike couldn't help but think that his mother would never believe he'd found love on this wild planet, with a woman who still occasionally checked his hips for wings. The jungle night swallowed them whole, but neither was afraid. They had each other. They had the spirits, and they had a village to protect. Besides, as Naya had pointed out earlier, what could be scarier than exchanging microbes with a human? The raiders' energy weapons lit up the pre-dawn jungle like artificial lightning. Mike crouched behind a massive tree trunk, pulse rifle steady in his hands. Beside him, Nea's eyes blazed silver as she communicated with her spirit beasts. "They have sonic disruptors," she whispered, trying to disorient the spirits. "Then we'll have to be smarter than them." Mike checked his ammunition. "How many can you control at once now?" A fierce smile crossed her blue features. "Want to find out? Though you'll owe me extensive microbe exchanges after this." "Deal. Just try not to get me eaten this time." "No promises." The battle erupted like a storm. Mike's rifle sang death while Nea's spirits emerged from the shadows like living nightmares. The raiders, despite their advanced tech, weren't prepared for the coordinated assault of human precision and primal fury. "Left flank," Mike called out, dropping 2 raiders with perfect headshots. Nea responded instantly, sending Tara and 3 younger hunters to circle around. The sounds of screaming and alien curses filled the air. "I think I'm starting to appreciate human efficiency," Nea shouted over the chaos. "Very direct." "Glad you finally—" Mike's words cut off as a blast caught him in the shoulder, spinning him around. "Mike!" The jungle itself seemed to roar in response to Nea's cry. The remaining spirit beasts went berserk, tearing through the raiders' ranks like they were made of paper. The last thing Mike saw before pain took his consciousness was Nea's face, fierce and beautiful in the battle light, directing her army with terrible purpose. He woke to the sensation of something cool being pressed against his wound. Nea's concerned face swam into focus. "You scared me," she accused. "I thought humans were supposed to be tough." "Sorry to disappoint," Mike groaned. "Did we win?" "Of course we won. I had to show off for my barbaric human, didn't I?" Her attempt at humor couldn't quite hide her relief. "Though next time, try ducking." "Noted." He tried to sit up, but she pushed him back down. "Stay still. The healing herbs need time to work." She paused, then asked with forced casualness, "So, do human males always try to die to impress potential mates?" Mike laughed, then winced. "Is that what I was doing?" "Well, you certainly caught my attention." Her fingers traced patterns on his uninjured arm. "I've been thinking—" "Dangerous." She swatted him lightly. "I'm serious. About human customs, your bonding rituals." "You mean marriage?" "Is that the term?" Sister Vara never mentioned that part. Her silver eyes studied him intently. "How does it work? Do you have to exchange specific amounts of microbes first? Are there combat trials?" Mike caught her hand, bringing it to his lips. "Typically, just vows of commitment, though I'm sure we could incorporate some combat if you insist." "Vows?" She wrinkled her nose. "That's all? How do you prove your worth?" "I think we just did that with the raiders." "True." She was silent for a moment. "And offspring? Are they born with the wings, or do those grow later?" Mike groaned. "Nea, for the last time—" I know." She grinned. "No wings. Though our children would be beautiful anyway, don't you think? Blue skin, human stubbornness." "Children?" Mike's heart skipped. "Are you saying—" "Well, someone has to teach them proper spirit calling. Can't leave it all to their barbaric father." She leaned down to kiss him softly. "Besides, I've grown rather fond of human customs. Some of them anyway." Months later, the village gathered to witness something unprecedented: the union of a human ranger and a spirit caller. The ceremony combined both cultures, traditional vows and spirit beast blessings, earth customs, and heiress rituals. "Still disappointed about the wings?" Mike whispered during the celebration. Nea, resplendent in ceremonial robes that highlighted her blue skin, smiled mysteriously. "Perhaps, but you make up for it in other ways." "Such as?" "Such as teaching me that not all human barbarism is bad." She kissed him deeply, ignoring the murmurs and chuckles from the crowd. though I still say we should have included combat trials. There's always the honeymoon, Mike suggested. Honey, moon? Her eyes lit up with curiosity. Is that another human ritual? Does it involve actual honey or moons? I'll explain later. They built their life together in the village, bridging two worlds. Mike trained the younger warriors in combat techniques while Naya taught him the deeper mysteries of spirit calling. Their home became a symbol of unity, proof that love could transcend cultural differences and strange beliefs about hip appendages. And if sometimes Naya still checked for wings, well, Mike figured that was just part of her charm. You know, she said one evening as they watched the twin suns set, Sister Vara visited last week. Oh? How did that go? She admitted she might have exaggerated some things about humans. Naya smiled wickedly, though she was right about one thing. What's that? You are quite overwhelming. She pulled him close, but in all the best ways. The jungle night wrapped around them like a living thing, filled with the sounds of spirit beasts and ancient mysteries. But neither the human ranger nor his blue-skinned bride feared the darkness anymore. After all, what was a little darkness compared to the adventure of building a life together? Even if that life occasionally involved explaining that no, human babies really weren't born with wings. 8 years later, Mike Carter stood at the edge of his homestead, watching chaos unfold in the clearing before him. 6 blue-skinned children of varying heights darted between spirit beasts like they were playing among house cats, not massive predators. Dad, Luna's trying to make Tara eat my homework again, his eldest daughter Mai shouted, her silver eyes flashing just like her mother's. It wasn't homework, 6-year-old Luna protested, hiding behind the aging but still massive Tara. It was clearly a tactical map for raiding the cookie storage. Mike pinched the bridge of his nose. Luna, what have we said about using spirit beasts for cookie-related crimes? That it's a creative use of resources? She offered hopefully. That's your mother talking. Speaking of his wife, Naya emerged from their home, carrying their youngest twins. At 8 years of marriage, she was still the most beautiful sight he'd ever seen, even with baby spit up on her shoulder. The twins want to know if you've grown wings yet, she called out, trying to keep a straight face. I told them to ask their father. Really? Mike groaned. You're still teaching them that? Cultural heritage is important, my barbaric human, she laughed, walking over to kiss him. Besides, imagine my disappointment when none of our children were born with them either. Their second eldest, Jack, looked up from where he was teaching his younger brother Tom how to track. Mom, humans don't have wings. We learned that in xenobiology class. Don't ruin your mother's dreams, son, Mike chuckled. Speaking of dreams, Naya said innocently, Sister Va'ara is visiting next week. Oh no. Oh yes, she's bringing her new human husband. Mike's eyebrows shot up. The same sister who warned you about terrible human customs. The very same. Naya's eyes sparkled with mischief. Apparently she decided to do her own research. Their third eldest, Sarah, chose that moment to demonstrate her growing spirit-calling abilities by having a juvenile hunter perform what looked suspiciously like a dance routine. Mom! Dad! Look what I taught Spike to do! Honey, we've talked about this, Mike called out. Spirit beasts aren't for entertainment. But Mom said you used to run away from them for fun during training. That wasn't... I didn't... Mike shot his giggling wife a look. Really? What? The children should know their heritage. Both sides of it. Naya handed him one of the twins. Here, take little Tara. She needs her daily dose of human bacterial exchange. It's called kissing, Mom, their children chorused in unison. Whatever you say, my little spirit warriors. Naya watched as Luna finally returned Mai's homework, only to have Tom's tracking practice disturb a nest of what looked like glowing butterflies. The resulting chase involved 3 children, 4 spirit beasts, and somehow ended with everyone covered in bioluminescent pollen. "You know," Mike said, bouncing baby Tara while her twin sister Maya reached for her from Naya's arms, "when I came to Eris looking for love, I didn't expect this." "Disappointed?" Naya asked, though her smile said she knew the answer. "Never?" He pulled her close with his free arm, "though I still think we should have included combat trials in our wedding." "There's always our 10th anniversary," she suggested wickedly. "Mom, Dad, Jack's telling the spirits I taste like cookies again." Luna's voice cut through their moment. "Am not. I'm teaching them advanced tracking techniques." "Using your sister as bait is not an advanced technique," Mike called out, then turned back to Naya. "This is your fault, you know. You're the one who taught them spirit calling." "And you're the one who taught them tactical thinking," she countered. "Besides, they're perfect. A little bit human, a little bit Aryan." "A lot bit trouble," Mike finished, but he was smiling. The twins chose that moment to demonstrate their emerging spirit-calling abilities by summoning 2 baby hunters, who promptly began chasing their own tails. "See?" Naya beamed proudly. "Perfect." As the sun set over their clearing, painting the jungle in shades of gold and purple, Mike watched his family, human and Aryan, spirit callers and warriors, all of them unique and none of them with wings, despite Naya's continued hopeful checking. "Hey," he said suddenly, "remember when you thought kissing would kill you?" Naya's skin darkened to that beautiful shade of indigo he loved. "I was being cautious. Besides," she added with a sly smile, "I think I've more than made up for my initial hesitation. 6 times over. 7 if you count that time with the 'not in front of the children.'" Their laughter joined the symphony of jungle sounds, spirit beasts calling, children playing, and the endless cycle of life on Eris. It wasn't the future either of them had imagined, but it was perfect in its own chaotic way. "I love you," Naya whispered, "my wingless wonder." "I love you too," Mike replied, "my beautiful barbarian researcher." And somewhere in the jungle, Tara made a sound that suspiciously resembled an eye roll, while their children continued their endless mission to combine the best, and occasionally the most mischievous, aspects of both their heritages. Just another day in the life of the Carter Spirit Caller clan, where love knew no boundaries, family came in all shades of blue, and the search for hip wings remained eternally ongoing. The end. For real this time, unless Sister Vara's new human husband also wants to check for wings. Well, that was quite a ride through the jungles of Eris. You know, it's been ages since I've written anything involving alien romance and hip wings conspiracies. I think I might have had a bit too much fun with Naya's scientific research into human customs. The whole time I was writing this, I kept imagining Naya going back to Sister Valara like, "You lied to me. Humans don't have wings, though they do have other interesting features." Wink, wink. I actually started cackling at my desk while writing some of those cultural misunderstanding scenes. My neighbors probably think I've lost it. Worth it, though. Huge thanks to everyone who stuck around for this crazy adventure. You're all amazing for putting up with my particular brand of sci-fi shenanigans. If you enjoyed watching these 2 idiots figure out that maybe, just maybe, not all humans are wing-having barbarians, and not all spirit callers need cleansing spirits after kissing, drop a comment below. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go check if I've grown any hip wings, you know, for science.